Welcome to 4.6, which is all about graphing things.
You need one of them.
Need a calculator, just needs to be able to graph stuff. And it's going to be a little bit different than our graphing that we've done before now, because before now there were like rules and a parent graph situation where we could not use a calculator. And now we're going to have to use a calculator.
Gotta use it. So you're just going to have to make sure that your calculator's in the correct mode.
Yep.
That everything's lined up so that you can.
We're going to be in radian mode.
Radian mode. If you want to work in degree mode, that's fine. We're not going to spend a lot of our school year in radian mode. So you need to get comfy with.
You mean in degree mode?
Yeah. You need to get comfy with not radian mode. Or with not degree mode.
Not degree mode, which is radian mode.
Which is radian mode.
And
so
we have our window here at -10 to 10, both directions. And you can do one of two things. You could make different colors and graph all these on the same graph. You make separate graphs if that's easier for you to see. But we just provided the one graph for you, and you'll have to figure out how to make that work for yourself.
We're going to use a color coding system.
Yeah, so
it's going to work out.
The table of values is what's going to be most helpful because we want to plot points. Sin x plus x squared, you end up with 0, 0, and then 1, 1.84, so that's 1, almost 2, and then 2 is almost at 5, and then the other direction, -1, is at 0.158, so just a little bit above.
Teeny tiny
-2 is at about 3. And so it kind of looks like a parabola, similar to a parabola at least, but not symmetric about the y-axis actually.
And if we were really to investigate, there's tiny little wavies on that parabola because of the sign.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'd have to really examine
You'd
closely.
really have to look at it closely.
Really check it out.
Yeah, because you've got x squared, which is a parabola, but you're adding to that the different values of sine x.
Or subtracting, as it were.
Right.
Well, if the sign turned out to be negative.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's move on to y equals x squared times sine x. This one.
This is actually a fun one. I kind of like this graph personally.
A lot changes between adding and multiplying. Some crazy stuff can happen. So type that in. And on the Inspire, I think you need to put the multiplication symbol there.
Now on this one, the table of contents may help or may not because of what's going on. So 0, 0.
-1.
All of it sounds like you need to turn on.
-2, we're at
then look at this. At -4, we're at 12.
So that's
No, -4, 12. Up.
Oh, we're at 12.
Yeah. Wowzers.
And if you're looking at your graph, what happens in between here is we've got this downward and then
down and then bounce up.
Yeah, it bounces up. So, and I don't know that it may keep going down some. And
a little bit, yeah. Then way up, and then it keeps going up, and then it's going to fall back down again.
Yeah, who knows how far it goes.
Yeah, and then it just goes further each time.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to draw on our face if you keep going that direction.
I didn't.
Okay, all right.
And then the other direction.
Oh, hello. So then go on the other way.
It looks like it's got some like symmetry here.
A little bit of symmetry. So where we were at -0.84, now we're going to be at +0.84. That's going the other way now.
Everybody else gets to celebrate my birthday, but I don't get to enjoy it.
1.2, so we're coming back down.
I don't get it.
Forward. So here it is, and it just bounces back and forth. But it bounces because the sign, S-I-G-N, of the sign changes.
Right. Because, yeah. I mean, you've got these values you're plugging in for x squared, and then you're multiplying them by these values for sine x that are going between -1 and 1.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
So we've got bigger and bigger numbers whose signs are all of a sudden alternating. So that's a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, I like that one. This one's not too bad.
Now, this one you can kind of think a little bit
about, think it through.
about
See if
what's
you can
going on. Is that we've got this sine function, but instead of having values between -1 and 1, we're squaring all of our values, which means they'll all have to be positive.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to still, I believe, be going through 0, 0.
Yes.
And then at 1, we're at 0.7.
0.7. I think that's like square root of 2 over 2.
Yeah, I think so. At 2, we're a little bit higher, 0.8. And then at 3, we come back down. Oh. And then 4, we're like halfway. Like what should be happening is we should kind of have like a bouncy sine thing going on.
Up, down, and then that's where it goes under. Where it goes under, you bounce up now instead of go all the way down. So it's like a little rabbit hopping along the bunny trail.
Yeah, it is kind of like.
Yeah, it's a little up to 1, down to 0, up to 1, down to 0, and basically where you were originally negative with your sine curve, you're now positive.
Yeah, and last, sine of x squared. So now all those values we're putting in will be squared first, and then we're going to put them into sine. So let's see how that changes things.
Whoa.
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 That's
Good luck
pretty
drawing
crazy
this
looking
one.
graph. So 0, 0 is still there, and then at 1 we're at 0.84. So that's this general area. 2 we're at -0.75, and then it just kind of goes crazy. So we've got like this U in the middle. It comes down here, and then it just does this.
And then it just gets even closer together. It's like some scribble.
Yeah, and we'll actually talk about what this is called later on in the section, but that is a pretty interesting graph. So like the whole point of this is just type it in your calculator, make sure that you're getting, we're going to have a calculator up
We
there
got a
to
calculator.
see.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
Can't you see it right over
No, I
there?
can't, I
No,
can't.
it's over there, up there.
Well, wherever it is. So just make sure that if you plug it into your calculator, you can actually get what's going on. You can get a table of values so that you can graph it.
Yeah.
And that's really all there is to as far as example 1 goes.
We graph these by hand. We're not going to make you graph by hand on these kinds.
Right.
Yeah.